Welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at Ulm. This is a 2 to 4 player set collection tile placement area influence game, where you take the role of citizens of Ulm trying to expand your influence. It's the heyday in Ulm, and they are constructing what would be at the time the world's tallest steeple. So you will be influencing people in the cathedral, the action tiles. You will be contributing or trading in the cathedral area, cards, collecting descendant tiles, city coat of arm tiles, moving your barge down the river, and placing seals trying to become the most influential citizen. How do you become the most influential citizen and win the game? By having the most victory points at the end of 10 rounds. Now that we know what the winning condition is, let's take a look at the components, setup, and how gameplay works in Ulm. Now let's take a look at the components. You have your main game board, your cathedral tiles or round tiles, your oath charter or your starting player marker, your action tiles, which are money, clear away, seal, card, and river. Cards, city tiles, descendant tiles, coins, sparrows, and each of the player colors, you have your family crest, barge, and seals. Cloth bag for the action tiles. And then finally you have your rulebook and Ulm Chronicle. The Ulm Chronicle has information about each card, tile, and location on the board, as well as historical information. Now let's take a look at the setup. We're going to be setting this up for a 3-player game, which takes 11 steps. Step 1, place the main board in the center of the play area. Step 2, shuffle and place the cards. You're going to shuffle the cards and place them face down on their location on the top left of the main game board. Step 3, shuffle, draw, and place descendant tiles. You will shuffle the descendant tiles and randomly draw 4 descendant tiles to place in the Oath House Quarter. A description of each of these tiles is located in the Ulm Chronicle. Step 4, assemble and place the cathedral on the main board. Step 5, shuffle and place the city coat of arm tiles. You will shuffle the city coat of arm tiles and then place them on their location on the top right of the main game board. Step 6, randomly place the starting action tiles. You will collect 2 money tiles, 2 clear away tiles, 2 seal tiles, 2 river tiles, and 1 card tile, shuffle them, and then randomly place them in the 3x3 grid on the top right of the main game board. Step 7, place 1 action tile of each type in the loading docks, which is the bottom right of the main game board. Step 8, place the remaining action tiles in the cloth bag. Step 9, create supply pools. Create a coin and a sparrow supply pool next to the main board. Step 10, get in place player components. Players will choose a color and then get their barge, seals, and family crests of that color, as well as 2 coins, 2 sparrows, and 1 random action tile. Then they will place their barge on the starting location on the river and place 1 seal on 5 on the victory point track. And then finally, step 11, choose the starting player and place the round tiles or tower tiles. The most reliable person is the starting player and will collect the Oath Charter, which is the starting player marker. Then they will collect the tower tiles or round tiles, then shuffle the tower tiles or round tiles, and randomly choose 10, placing 2 back in the box. You will then place the tower tiles face down if you're playing the basic game, or face up if you're playing the advanced game on your Oath Charter. So in this case, yellow will be our starting player. And since we're setting this up for the basic game, we'll place those tiles face down on the Oath Charter. Now let's take a look at the gameplay. A game consists of 10 rounds. A round consists of 2 phases, the beginning of round phase and the player turns. Now let's look at each in detail, starting with the beginning of round phase. During this phase, the starting player will take 1 tower tile or round tile and place it in the cathedral. If you're playing the basic game, then the tile will be placed in the cathedral face down and will be a reminder of what round you are in. If you're playing the advanced game, then the tile will go in face up, and then what is listed on the tile will be the effect for the round. It's good to keep in mind that you will then be able to see what the next round's effect will be because the tiles on the Oath Charter are face up. So since we're playing the basic game with the tower tiles or round tiles face down, yellow will simply place the tower tile or round tile in the cathedral. Then we would move to the player's turn. A player's turn consists of 2 main steps and 1 optional step. The optional step is at any point during your turn, you may play 1 card from your hand. On the cards, there are 2 types of effects. The top effect is an immediate effect when you discard the card, and then the bottom effect is if you play it to your player area. Then the main 2 steps for your turn would be to draw an action tile randomly from the bag and play it into the cathedral 3x3 grid, sliding it at the end of a column or row, and then carry out the 3 actions based on the 3 action tiles in the grid that were moved. You may perform these actions in any order. Also, it's good to keep in mind that the tile that you pushed out of the 3x3 cathedral grid is not an action that you can take. Now let's look at the 5 possible actions that you can take during your player turn. Starting with the river action. For the river action, you may move your barge to the next unoccupied space down the river. So if you were performing a river action and someone was located in front of you, you would move to the next unoccupied space available. The money action. When performing the money action, you will take 1 coin from the supply. The card action. For this action, you may discard any 2 tiles in your play area back to the bag for the top card in the deck, or you may discard 2 of the same action tiles to draw 2 and choose 1 card from the deck, or not discard any of your action tiles to play a card from your hand. This does not count against your optional step to play a card at any point in your turn. The clear away action. You would take all of the pushed out tiles on one side of the grid. So you may take from 1 to 3 tiles when performing this action. The pushed out tiles would be tiles that cover up a depicted city quarter on the grid. And then finally, the seal action. When performing this action, you would pay 2 coins to place a seal on an unoccupied space to the north or south quarters where your barge is located, and then gain the effect under the depicted city quarter on the board. So if it's the yellow player's turn, they would randomly draw a tile from the bag and play it in the cathedral 3x3 grid. If yellow did not want to use the money action tile that they randomly drew, they can pay 1 sparrow token to exchange that tile with any of the tiles in the loading dock. So yellow decided to slide their tile to the left in the bottom row, which means they will take all of the 3 bottom row actions in the 3x3 grid: seal, river, and money. So in this case, they gained 1 money, moved their barge down the river 1 space, and then chose to place a seal north of where their barge is located. They will then gain the effect listed below the depicted city quarter. So in this case, they will draw 2 and choose 1 of the city coat of arms. When choosing the city coat of arms, there is a gold and then there is a silver. The silver will give you an immediate victory point bonus, and then the gold will give you an immediate victory point bonus and a bonus for each seal placed in this quarter. If you chose silver, you would place this city coat of arms in your play area, gain the victory points listed immediately, and place 1 of your seals next to the depicted city quarter in the 3x3 grid. If you chose gold, you would gain the victory points listed immediately. Then you would place this city coat of arms in your play area, place 1 of your family crests on that depicted city quarter so that you're reminded for your seal bonus, and then you would place 1 of your seals next to the depicted city quarter in the 3x3 grid. So in this case, yellow will choose the gold, which means they will gain 3 victory points immediately. So now for the rest of the game, when somebody slides a tile and covers up that particular city quarter, yellow would gain a sparrow token. It's good to keep in mind that all of the quarter bonuses, cards, and tiles are listed in the Ulm Chronicle. Now that yellow has finished their turn, it would go to the next player's turn. Once all the players have finished taking their player turns, then we would go into the next round. And then rounds would continue until the end of the 10th round. At the end of the 10th and final round, we would go into the final scoring. The final scoring takes 3 steps. Step 1, add 1 victory point for each sparrow token that you have. Step 2, add or subtract victory points for your barge locations. And then finally, step 3, add the victory points for the face-up cards in your player area. If you are tied after step 3, the tiebreaker is having the most seals in different quarters. And then after you've tallied your final score, the player with the most points is the most influential citizen and wins Ulm.